back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, basically, the United States beat Serbia. I think it's like 4 more minutes to go. It's pretty much a laugher. This game should have been over at halftime. But this is what I want to say. And before I say that, let me say this. Dwayne Wade, how much money did they have to pay you to come on there and sound like an NBA play-by-play guy, selling your soul, lying? And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I've told you this before. I'm not trying to say these guys don't have money, but they don't have the money you've been told. This guy, you think Dwayne Wade is coming up on there to do this play-by-play in the Olympics for free? No. Everything is a business. Everything is about money. Time is money. This guy has sold his soul to get paid money. And you're supposed to have all this money, and you're gonna come up on there on a play-by-play and just lie, bro. I'm talking. Wow, it's just so. I don't know. You expect this stuff in like politics and stuff like that, but it has gotten to sports to where at least the NBA where you have to lie about this era of guys. I don't know if it's just because LeBron is still playing or it's going to continue, but it never happened in any other era until we got to the 210s and they had to protect LeBron. Now check this out. They continue to tell you and show you that there's more NBA players in the league than when the 92 Dream Team played. And what they'll show you is most of them are scrubs and tried out for an NBA roster, rode the bench, and was out just like that. And then we got to take into account, yes, you do have superstars on the international rosters where you got Joker. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. He didn't show up to this game. Luka, Wemby, all these type of guys like that. So we have these type of guys, superstars on those teams. Okay. And they say it's more NBA superstars, international players on these rosters, and the world has just gotten better. Okay. So let's move forward. And the stuff that we hear about all the time is that these guys today in the NBA are more skilled, more faster, strong, all this stuff, stronger, just much better than the 90s. Not even no comparison. But so I don't even know why they keep talking about the Dream Team in the first place, because the Dream Team is no standard. Remember how they don't even go for the 96 team, which was this incredible team. We might do a video. They just sidestepped them. Okay, so they claim that this era, and they've been saying that forever. They've been saying that, I think, maybe since the 210s. You know, we never heard of this era comparison until LeBron, really until 2018, really, when he lost his 6 finals. And then he had 6 finals blowout losses, right? We start hearing this stuff from the Nick Wrights and the Shannon Sharps and all these people who emerged from clutch sports, right? We start hearing all this garbage about dissing the 90s, the 80s, and stuff like that. We've never heard this in the 2000s. We never heard this in the 90s, this in past eras. And again, it came from LeBron James' failures, his continuous failures. Not he failed once or twice or 3 times, just all of his career. He's been this failure, right? And oh my goodness. So what I'm trying to say is this era is so much better as far as skilled guys, right? So if they're so much better as far as skilled guys and just the era is better, then they should be way better than the world. Even though it's more NBA players in there, they should be that much better than the world. So let's again explain how dumb they are making NBA fans, okay, when they say this. On these rosters, these international rosters, what you will have, and tell me if I'm wrong, you might have one superstar player. For example, right? Giannis, Joker, who else? Luka. That's one NBA superstar. I guess we could say Wemby, for example. And they might have one NBA role player on that roster, right? Along with that superstar. Or they might just have an NBA role player like Schroeder on those teams, right? Or they might not have neither. Okay? This is what this era is calling catching up to a team that has 6 to 8 superstars on it. This is what they call catching up. The world catching up to them. This is just nonsense. And Okay, you might not have had that many international superstars back when the Dream Team was playing. That is true. But guess what? They did what they were supposed to do. They blew teams out by 50 and 40 points. They didn't play with them, right? So my thing is, this team should be able to blow teams out at least by 30 points. They have six or more superstars on their team. LeBron, Tatum, Joel Embiid, Curry, Durant, Booker, Anthony Edwards. Who else? I think I got seven right there. Anthony Davis. It should be a blowout of 30 points. Who did Serbia have today? And that's what we're gonna go over game by game. They don't even have one melanated person on that team. Not even one melanated person on that team. So basically, when I look at it and I saw what Serbia was doing, they just didn't have the athletes at the end of the day. I'm watching the game, and their downfall was they could shoot, but the United States can shoot too. But guess what? They aren't athletic enough to hang in um, and beat that team. And when I say athletic enough, they're not athletic enough to stop them with their defense. Have you ever seen Joker, right? He plays in the NBA, never made one defensive first team. They're calling this guy a top five greatest of all time. Center. One of the greatest of all time, top five players of all time. And I even heard centers. Wow. Why? Because he can score at will in a no-touch era. And what the Olympics is starting to expose to me, and I kind of felt this way a lot, that the NBA it looks rigged to me. Because these guys are looking different when people actually play defense on them. I thought Serbia came out at first and played good defense on them, but athletically, I didn't think they had enough in the tank to do it 4 quarters, right? And the deal buster for me, we all know it was Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. Look, for example, right? The majority of these guys needed, the only way they could shoot really was wide open shots when the ball was moved around. That's where they got most of the points, right? And LeBron barreling to the basket on a fast break, or somebody found him on an easy layup. I think he ended the game with like 6 turnovers. At one point, they was talking about his vision at the top of the key while he turned it over. Goodness gracious. Look, man. Kevin Durant's not on that team. This team is in big trouble because Kevin Durant came out and hit like, in that first half, hit like 6, 7 in a row unconscious. Didn't matter if he was wide open, took a dude off the dribble, just shot in the dude's face. I'm going to ask you one time again. Where are the stars on Serbia besides Joker? So let's talk about Joker because I don't think he showed up to this game. No, he didn't have the supporting cast that he had at Denver. That's fine. But like Denver, and he does in Denver, he liked to control the ball at the top of the key and get all the assists. I didn't see him doing that this game. I didn't see him dominating the ball and demanding the ball in the post all game. I don't think he showed up. He wasn't playing nothing like he played when he plays with Denver. So we'll see. These guys are going to get 2 days of rest. Like I said before, I don't know who makes the schedule. The NBA. Dwayne Wade lies and says that when we look back at it, unless this whole tournament, I want to talk about that too. Unless this whole tournament is rigged, unless the whole Olympics is rigged, then what are these guys talking about? They was talking about the comparison with the Dream Team. Why? Why do you guys keep comparing this team with the Dream Team? And before they even won, are you telling us that this thing is rigged? You can't give somebody a comparison to anything or anybody unless you see the full body of work. You can't say, oh, this team put together. What are you talking about? There's no weaknesses on the Dream Team. You got Bam, you got White. They didn't even play Tatum today. You got a lot of weaknesses on this team. Devin Booker? Are you kidding me? He ain't making the NBA back in the 90s, bro. Unless he bringing waters and towels. And they said at one point, they said that Devin Booker was a good defensive player. Y'all gotta stop, man. Drew Holiday ain't making no 92, no 92 Olympic team. These are all superstars on that team. Christian Laettner could play and be a superstar in this NBA in this era. So again, they've been laying this foundation for how good these guys are and comparing them to the Dream Team before what? Before they even have played in the Olympics. This is the first game. And they was looking kind of shaky if Durant wasn't there. So again, LeBron James, the guy that they're slurping, thanks to Nike promoting these Olympics. And let me say this real quick. How is this guy still doing this at 40 years old? It's not 40 years old. It's weighing 250 and still running the court after 21, 22 seasons. It's not possible, folks. Not at this size. Not at this size. It's not possible. In the fast-paced game, it's not possible. So it's okay for this guy to do PEDs and nobody say nothing about it. That's why you got to say the whole NBA is rigged. And Phenomenal Fitness put out something the other day about the feds. They don't do investigations on the buyers, only the sellers. So if you're doing any, you already know if LeBron is doing any PEDs, which is obvious, either they're not going to say nothing about it. It ruins their whole league. So they're going to continue to let this guy do PEDs because it's not possible for you to be running the court from high school all the way until now in all these finals, all these playoffs, all these games, playing with 20, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds at this high level. It's not possible. The only way that's possible is this guy is not even a real human being. If he's not a real human being, the points, the assists, the rebounds, it means nothing to me. That ain't what I question because as you can see what he's doing layups and dunks. He don't have any skill set like a Curry, like a Durant, like any of these guys on the team. It's all layups and dunks off of muscle and being a freight train from taking steroids. You're not, let me tell you something. You're not going to gain that kind of muscle and keep that kind of muscle at that age. Your muscle will not keep standing up. You know how, look, you being in the gym when I was younger and even when I was a little bit older, you will not continue to gain the same kind of muscle, the strength. You will not have the same kind of speed and the same kind of stamina. So what happens is, year after year, so what happens is you got to perform even better, which means not only in the gym, but now you got to start taking enhancers. And guess what? Just like a workout, your body gets used to certain workouts, right? Well, your body is going to get used to those enhancers. So now you got to keep doubling up on those enhancers, or they got to keep getting better. The product does for you to maintain that kind of muscle and that kind of stamina. So what is this guy doing? All these guys that played with him back in the day are retired, got hurt. Even people that came in after him are retired, got hurt, and this guy is still going. I don't care about the points and the assists because the game is pretty much trash, right? Anybody can get them points and them assists what he's doing. Like I said, he's always got the ball in his hand. And for the assist turnover ratio, it's not good. So he's just racking up meaningless assists, 7 assists on 3.5 turnovers. You're doing nothing, bro. You're doing nothing. And he's running this point guard because he don't really want to go and do nothing. He don't want to work the paint. He don't want to be out there shooting because he knows he's a liability at shooting. So he don't want the ball passed to him. He wants to control the ball and act like he's the one getting that assist. He's going to get flat-footed rebounds because the internationals played this game first, right? 4 guys at the three-point line. So nobody's going to be there to compete for the rebound if he's under there, right? And his points are going to be dunks and layups. That's all he can do. The last time he was even okay at shooting from the mid range, when was that? Like 2017 in Cleveland. I think he had a couple good years shooting good at the mid range, but the most of his career has been garbage from the mid range, and he's always hitting these wide open threes. So he, what you guys see on the floor as real NBA players, and then when you look at LeBron, it's just a totally different game. It's always been a totally different game. This guy is out here playing football, right, on PEDs, while these other guys are out here playing basketball, right, and playing at all levels, hitting threes, hitting the free throws, hitting mid ranges, you know, stuff like that. This guy has never been that, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If they beat a whole bunch of international plumbers. Well, we already talked about this before. This whole thing of them comparing the Dream Team, saying they better than the Dream Team before they even finished the damn Olympics, is them laying the foundation. So if they lose, what? We told you the world caught up to us. And if we couldn't beat them, or the 24 Olympic team can't beat them, guess what? The Dream Team damn sure can't beat them, right? These guys are laying excuses. Guys that played in the NBA for 1 year, role players, one superstar on an international team. They won't name these NBA players that is 65 now in international play that's in these international games because you will laugh. You've never heard of these guys. And that just goes to show they won't let these guys in. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a whole video on this, right? The majority of these guys that they keep saying are on the NBA roster in the NBA now, in the 90s, they would not let these guys play. You know how many guys tried out for the NBA in the 90s and in the 80s? They weren't good enough. They weren't the athletes. They weren't physical enough. All they could do is shoot. They won't let them in the 90s. They're letting them in this NBA because this NBA is soft and feminine and full of women. And it starts with LeBron James. They can only dominate LeBron James starting in the '04 Olympics and then the '07 FIBA. Then Kobe had to come because he came from the 90s and brought back gold. These are the people that the LeBron era guys get dominated by the same plumbers that couldn't play in the 90s. We didn't let plumbers in to the 90s. They just weren't good enough. They tried to play. I mean, we had a couple international players come, but they weren't good enough in the 90s. It has nothing to do with them. Oh, they're not NBA players. They tried. They tried. You know how many of them tried to make an NBA roster? I will pull up some names of international players that played in the 90s. Because what they're doing is they're telling these lies. It was a lot of international players that played in the 90s, but not to this extent because they just weren't good enough. So if they're using we'll just use all the players since they're using black players today as international players. That's fine. Patrick Ewing was an international player, right? Akeem Olajuwon was an international player. Petrovic was an international player. It was Kukoc. They're leaving out all the international players that was actually played in the NBA in the 90s. It was a lot. In the 80s. Tell me what you think.